Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. We're jumping right in today because we've got something seriously chilling to cover. We're breaking down 3 completely true, absolutely terrifying case studies of roadside motel stops. The goal here? To extract some hard, fast lessons in situational awareness so we can take these wildly unpredictable encounters and turn them into actionable knowledge to keep you safe.
So let's set the scene with a premise I know we can all relate to. You're pushing through this massive long-haul drive. It's incredibly late, your eyes are getting super heavy, that third cup of coffee wore off hours ago, and you just give in. You pull off some dark highway exit just to grab a few hours of sleep before hitting the road again. We have all been there, right? And honestly, it sets the stage perfectly for what we're about to look at.
Because doing that brings up what we call the motel compromise. It's that classic trade-off. You're saving a few bucks and grabbing some quick rest, sure, but you're sacrificing a whole lot of security. Unlike a bustling hotel with interior hallways and a 24/7 staff, these bare-bones motels offer extreme isolation. Every single door opens directly out to a dark, open parking lot. That specific architectural layout, mixed with a transient crowd, basically creates the ultimate staging ground for unpredictable danger.
So, here's the game plan for today. We're going to systematically break down 3 specific events. First up, Case 1, the voice actor. Then, Case 2, the coordinated threat. And finally, Case 3, the midnight watcher. Afterwards, we'll pull the whole shebang together into some really practical lessons in survival.
All right, let's get into Case 1, the voice actor, and dive into the sheer psychological terror of isolation.
Okay, picture this. You've got a solo driver, totally exhausted, making his way from New York down to Tennessee. Around 1 a.m., he pulls into this incredibly rough, pitch-black Virginia motel. He finally settles into bed, right? But then, he starts hearing this argument right through the thin walls. It sounds like a deep, angry guy and a softer, higher-pitched woman. At first, you're just thinking, great, an annoying couple. But then he notices something off. The timing is just a little too perfect. There's literally zero overlap in the dialogue. And then, the terrifying reality hits him. It's not a couple. It's just one guy aggressively arguing with himself, perfectly mimicking 2 distinct voices.
And guys, the psychological terror scales up in a heartbeat. That bizarre fake argument next door, it just stops dead. Total, absolute silence. And then, bam, a fist bangs on the shared wall right beside his head, and this muffled, really playful voice says, "I hear you in there." Yeah, the isolation of that motel compromise literally just turned into a trap.
The timeline here shows just how wild the escalation is. The driver actually hears footsteps vibrating on the outside balcony. He sneaks a peek through a tiny crack in his window blinds and makes split-second eye contact with the guy staring right back in. The man then starts pacing right outside the door. He's practicing these exaggerated southern accents, wildly changing his voice, and just aggressively banging on the door. By 2 a.m., our completely terrified driver finally calls the front desk for help.
But here is the absolute kicker. The environment completely fails to keep him safe. The motel worker comes up, keeping his hand resting on a holster, by the way. He knocks on the creep's door, gets no answer, and then casually mentions to our driver that this unhinged guy had been staying there for a while. Management ends up moving the protagonist down to a ground floor room, but the loud terror just turns into this silent, creeping dread. Because that long-term resident, he tracks our guy downstairs, and he just silently paces past the new room's window, staring in over and over again until the sun finally comes up.
Moving right along, let's look at Case 2, the coordinated threat and the very real danger of the unhinged stranger.
So, this one happens during a 2022 college road trip. A family of 6 women, sisters, a stepmom, and a grandmother pull into a random Texas motel at 8 p.m. While they're all just standing in the lobby checking in, they commit a massive yet honestly super common operational security error. The grandmother asks out loud what their room assignment is, and one of the sisters just casually answers, broadcasting their room number to the entire public space. Twice. And who exactly is sharing that public space? A strange man in all black clothing. He's just lingering by the door, and later, he's sitting perfectly still in a dark corner, listening to the whole thing. Let's break down the terrifying sequence that happens next on the second floor. The family is split between 2 rooms, with a vacant, dark room sitting right in the middle of them. The stepmom opens her door just to toss out some trash, and instantly she is face to face with a man standing completely silent, pressed flat against the exterior wall. Without making a single sound, he calmly walks right into that dark, vacant middle room that separates the family. The stepmom immediately rushes back inside and throws the deadbolt,
And her reaction here, it perfectly highlights why you always trust your gut. She didn't wait around to find out what his intentions were. She didn't try to rationalize, oh, why is this guy lurking in the dark? Nope. Her survival instincts immediately took over, and she told her family to start packing immediately. She demanded a full, unquestioned evacuation.
And thank goodness she did, because the real horror of this case study hits them when they sprint out to the parking lot. They quickly realize they aren't just dealing with one random creep. This is a coordinated ambush. The guy from the lobby steps right out of the elevator. The silent guy from the middle room suddenly appears, and then there's a third, entirely different man actively cupping his hands on car windows and jiggling the handles. When this third guy spots the woman making a run for it, he actually physically signals the other two, and all three men start slowly surrounding the family's car. It was only because of the stepmom's incredibly decisive action that they managed to speed out of there at the exact right second.
All right, let's get into our final case, Case 3, the Midnight Watcher. This one is pure paranormal adjacent dread.
Okay, so a couple is 11 hours deep into a totally exhausting drive down to Florida, and they're forced to pull over past 1 a.m. This motel is a ghost town. Even the lights in the main office are completely off. The protagonist realizes he left his phone charger out in the car, so he jogs up to grab it, leaving the room door just cracked open behind him. Out by his car, he suddenly spots a massive guy wearing a really heavy, unseasonable trench coat, just lurking right beside their cracked open door. When our guy confronts him, the man smiles and gives this incredibly unsettling excuse in a bizarrely soft, gentle voice. "Oh, I'm staying upstairs, just going for a stroll." Guys, it's 1 a.m. in an empty parking lot. Yeah, right.
You can probably imagine the sheer tension of the lockdown that follows. The protagonist gets back inside, locks the door, and actually crawls on the floor to peek out through a crack in the curtain. At first, he sees the trench-coated guy standing right outside their door, perfectly still, just staring at the wood for 10 solid minutes. It's literally a 10-minute staring contest through a peephole. Eventually, his terrified girlfriend works up the nerve to look out, and the man is gone. But wait, he hasn't actually left. He reappeared all the way across the dark parking lot, standing like a statue, staring directly back into their window. He completely knew they were watching him.
But the ultimate chilling reality of this whole thing hits like a ton of bricks the very next morning. They go to the owner to complain about the weird guy staying upstairs. The owner gets this terrified look on his face and confirms that they were the absolute 100% only guests staying at the motel that night. Let that sink in. That massive trench-coated stalker wandering outside their door, he was a complete unknown, untracked by any security cameras because there weren't any in a completely empty facility.
Okay, so how do we handle this? Let's get into some lessons in survival and break down what all this data actually means for you.
We just walked through 3 deeply terrifying scenarios, so let's cross-reference these cases to see exactly how each specific threat profile was countered by a very distinct instinctual survival tactic. With the voice actor, the red flag was those unnatural, perfectly timed voices, right? And the tactic? Relocating and alerting management. With the coordinated threat, the major red flag was broadcasting security data out in the open lobby. The winning tactic there was recognizing the ambush and pulling an immediate evacuation. And with our Midnight Watcher, the red flag was the unseasonable clothing and lurking behavior, which they countered with a strict lockdown and continuous visual confirmation.
So what should you absolutely take away from all this? Surviving unpredictable encounters relies incredibly heavily on maintaining strict operational security and acting decisively. Number 1, always trust your gut. Period. Prioritize your personal safety way over social politeness. If some guy is lurking by your door in the dark, you do not owe him a polite conversation. Number 2, maintain total situational awareness. Never, ever broadcast your room number in a public lobby. And finally, secure your environment completely. Throw those deadbolts and double, triple check that the blinds are tightly and completely closed. We've seen firsthand how the very nature of cheap, isolated roadside motels practically invites danger. You are literally trading security and oversight just for the convenience of a cheap bed. So I'm going to leave you with a final provocative thought to chew on. The next time you're on a cross-country road trip, your eyes are getting incredibly heavy on a dark highway, and you spot one of those flickering neon signs in the distance, will you take the motel compromise? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today. Stay aware and stay safe out there.